I'm loving the thing back there, the furniture. That is fantastic.
That's my mullet furniture.
That's your mullet.
Yeah.
Party in the back.
Right, I got a little party in the back going on right now.
And then you can shut the doors.
But
and
those
it's all
doors
business.
shut, and it's like, oh, exactly.
That's fantastic.
I'm happy.
That's fantastic. You're using the new camera too, huh?
Could you tell?
I can tell. It's much better.
It
wasn't like awful before, but it's clearly a market improvement.
It was pretty bad before. I mean, now that you see, like, now that I've experienced the world of like real cameras, I'm
hard to go back, right?
Except that, like, I look like I'm old.
It can bring out some textures, yes.
Yes, so you get the full. If you want the full texture of Jason,
fully textured Jason,
you've come to the right place. I got a new desk too.
Oh, did you? Well, I can't see that.
You can't because you're like on it.
I am on it. Like being on your desk.
But that's a little discombobulated. Like I'm not sure where things. Well, I do know where things are, but I'm not sure if they're where they're supposed to be yet. Or is that? You know when you get a new car and you transfer all the stuff from your glove compartment, and other parts of the other compartments. And that's the one time in 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is that you think to yourself, oh, I did have Splenda packets.
Right. Yeah, I always find a lot of like napkins and whatnot that I've saved over the course of 3, 4, 5, 9, 25 years of road trips, and you're like, I'm gonna need these at some point. And then there's like 6 deposits stationed around your car somewhere.
But you remember those moments where you thought, I could have used this napkin
exactly
that one time, and I didn't think I had any napkins.
Exactly. You find them, and you were unaware you had them until you found them again.
Or you find that
you
pen.
spilled a lot of things.
You spilled, yes, unfortunately. You find that pen that you have to try just to make sure. You haven't used it in 4 years, but you need to make sure it still works.
Because Lord knows you need another pen.
And when you try it and it doesn't work, you're somehow disappointed. You're like, oh,
damn it,
man,
this is a waste of a pen, and it died before its time.
Or you find the pen that works. Have you ever had that experience?
You're weirdly excited.
You find that pen from 1979. It's like this old ballpoint Bic.
Yeah, and like maybe came from a bank or something.
Yeah, a place where you used to work. Like as a teenager, or maybe you have this pen from this building supply store you worked at. This never happened to me, and it still works. You think, why don't they make pens like this anymore?
Yeah, they just don't make a pen like they used to, man. You remember these just kind of fell out of use, I guess, or they're extinct now or something. But you remember those pens? I remember them from the 80s, maybe the early 90s. I know what you're going to say. They're the ones that look like a pencil, and they have
that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe we'll get to that one too. But they were like hexagonal in cross-section. So I get technical with the description here.
Hexagonal.
And then they had kind of a pointy-outy thing. They were definitely ballpoint, but the I don't know what you call it, the nozzle or the tip or whatever, was like long and just cylindrical, and it was just a little tiny thing. It almost looked like a mechanical pencil, only instead of the lead, it was a sort of a metal thing where the ballpoint was. And the other end had this white eraser on it that was terrible. I don't know what it was doing there. And maybe this is why the pens are extinct now. But you'd see them everywhere because those were the ones that you could, like, just any Yahoo could get like something inscribed on them with these sort of gold letters. And so you saw them a lot around. I saw them in a lot of different colors, but yeah, definitely blue. But yeah, it was they were just the pens themselves were fine. It's just I don't know what that eraser was doing. And it's like a really, really coarse eraser. It wasn't like a pencil eraser. It was this white, coarse, funky thing, and it didn't it didn't erase anything. It just like
smeared it,
eroded the paper, and then just kind of mushed the ink around a little bit. And,
eventually you end up with a hole in your paper. Like, that's perfect.
right, a like pale gray hole because you mushed the ink all around, and it just looked like it's like what you could have just kind of scribbled out a little bit is now this like inch in diameter blemish on this piece of paper.
I thought you were going for the multicolored pen thing.
Oh,
the kind
those were fun.
Because of chunky. It was kind of chunky. It was like the husky. It was like the husky of pens.
Definitely.
And you could flick down different colors.
Right. It was black, blue, red, and green. I think it was 4. I think.
Sure.
And you always tried to like push them out at the same time.
Of course. I was getting ready to say that. Like, not just me. Apparently not just me.
And then you could take them out and you'd see all 4 of the ink tubes with the ballpoint pens on the end, and then you had to like kind of mush them so they would all be in a line, and then you could make cool like rainbows or whatever.
Oh, you did that too, huh?
Yeah.
Look
Turns
at you.
out we all do the same goofy crap.
We all do the same stupid things. There's no original anything, right?
No, when it comes to ballpoint pens, no.
Now I'm trying to adjust my lights because I feel like it's really bright. But what do you think? Am I too bright?
No.
Never been accused of that.
It's. I think the sudden darkness of your background is causing you to want to overcompensate.
Is that? Is that?
So to speak.
Is that what that is? Okay. I'm shiny too. Like, oh, shiny.
Yeah, you got to start using powder before you go on.
You know, you're the third person to tell me that this, and at first I thought they were joking, and I don't think they're joking.
Well, I'm kind of
actors,
because that was be a kind of.
So I'm not going to name names, but multiple people have said maybe you should start putting makeup on. I was like, maybe you should start taking a shower.
You should start keeping your opinions to yourself.
Maybe you should start putting a bag over your head. Thanks.
Yeah, just a little translucent powder.
That doesn't make any sense. Translucent powder.
Yeah, I don't know either, but that's
like
what it says on the bottle thing.
Opaque windshield.
Yeah, that's not a good windshield.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how translucent powder would be.
I don't know to what extent it's translucent, how translucent it might be, but
definitely not writing this down.
My thing of powder says translucent powder, so that's all I know.
Maybe we should have a makeup episode of.
Oh, we can get into some makeup if you want to. I do have a degree in theater.
Is that like one of the classes? Is like theater?
Oh,
Of course it is, right?
Yeah. Well, that Jack Sparrow costume I wore at Halloween, I made that.
But you made the costume. Did you make were you wearing makeup for that?
I was actually. Oh. Yeah. Not much, but you got to do the darkening around the eyes because that's such a signature Jack Sparrow thing.
You did look like you had that kind of like, I don't know, steamy, sultry,
it was very steamy. That
like,
there's a lot of layers in that costume.
I don't know.
Woof, and that wig, let me tell you. And
what were you thinking?
For
like
Florida,
90 degrees?
I know.
Speaking of which,
a Florida Halloween is.
What's happening right now?
Oh, with the coldness?
Okay, I have a problem because I'm wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt, and you can't see my legs, which is a good thing. But because no one needs to, you can't unsee that. But I have to go home at some point, and I may actually have to warm my car first tonight.
Ooh.
Because it's going down into the 40s tonight.
Yeah.
It's November 30th, which in and of itself sounds like that's an appropriate temperature until you realize we're in Orlando.
Correct.
And it usually doesn't get this cold maybe a couple times a year in January.
Yeah, it's more January, February when that kind of thing happens.
Like, this is weird.
It is weird. Well, climate change, I don't know what to...
It's just, I mean, yes, but not, I mean, there's always that, I don't mean to cause any trouble with anybody here, right? But this did come up today, this whole issue of climate change. And I will say right now that weather, like a single weather event, does not in and of itself indicate
No.
climate
Correct.
change or the absence thereof.
Yeah. Weather does not equal climate. Yeah.
Aggregated weather, like
Yeah. Trends and whatnot. Yeah.
right, that does. When you start looking at like why do we have more hurricanes than we did before? Why are our hurricanes more powerful? Why are our days more warm? Why? Like it's not because
we are
you had
trending
this,
up. In that.
right? So
Yeah.
but you know as well as I do, someone's going to point to this cold spell in Florida
Right.
and say, see how about that global warming?
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing, is that global warming is a kind of, not a misnomer exactly, because it is warming, but the fact is it can bring on like a lot unseasonably colder temperatures, because
Correct.
as it warms, the poles begin to melt, and that reduces the salinity of the oceans, and that can cause breakdowns of currents, and those currents that usually carry warm water into cooler areas suddenly break down, and those areas become colder. And yeah, basically what it is that even though it is warming, what we're dealing with is erratic weather. The climate is trending in a specific sort of direction, but the weather in the meantime is uppy downy crazy, because of this warming trend.
He can't just teach you about. He won't just teach you about makeup. He'll also teach you about the weather.
He was the guy that was a theater major and paid attention in meteorology class.
Very good, very good.
He didn't do well because he didn't study.
But you remember
he
that
didn't
one
care
bit.
about that stuff,
I don't know,
which is unfortunate. And now he kind of regrets maybe taking that tack. But tack is a nautical term, by the way.
Okay, Jack Sparrow.
Savvy.
Did you take any other classes that were kind of off-brand, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I took an archaeology class, and when you're in theater, you kind of feel like you need to get all kinds of crazy classes so that you have some experience with a bunch of different stuff, because then you can apply those to the various plays that you might find yourself,
a student in different.
Or well, no, I mean, like
when I play a student in an archaeology class, I will nail it.
I'll nail it because I'll blow off my group project. But so you sort of take a bunch of junk, so you get a sort of a jack of all trades.
I'm sure those
Not even
professors
a jack,
would
really.
appreciate that.
I'm like a 7 of all trades.
Well, we have used the word jack a lot tonight, so
that's true.
We should probably move on. So, archaeology.
Yeah. No, I had a huge interest in urology. No, I didn't take that. No. So many jokes.
I'm just not going to go there. Nope. You can't lure me in, man.
But I will tell you this: in high school, actually, our physics teacher was a hyper intelligent man, Father Lawrence Frederick. Yes, he is a Catholic priest because I went to Catholic high school for boys in Little Rock,
I feel like it should be
Arkansas.
Sir Father Lawrence Frederick.
It probably should, because he's a Monsignor now. But probably one of the most brilliant men I've ever met, and his physics class was amazing. Again, I did not do well in it because it was like sandblasting a soup cracker, right? It's like taking high school physics from Albert Einstein. It's going to be over your head, but kind of like, how when you put grout down, you smush a whole bunch of it into the tiles, and then you have to like wipe away all of the excess, and what's left is the grout in between the tiles.
So I'm told.
The grout is the knowledge that he was trying to mush into my head, but only the parts between the tiles actually stayed.
But that's the part that's supposed to stay.
Right. Well, in the case of grout, yes, but
And that's where the analogy
Yeah, it
falls
kind of
off
breaks
the
down
cliff.
at that point because that's your best case scenario with regards to tile, not so much with regards to your physics education. But I did learn quite a lot from that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I can be kind of insufferable about something.
So I feel like you didn't. So a lot of these classes that you branched out into, these subjects that you branched out into in undergrad. This is undergrad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You didn't do so well.
No, not really.
But theater, you nailed it.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So, okay. Did maybe your advisor ever say to you, maybe you should you should stop taking these other classes? Maybe you should stick
Well, you had to, right? It's a liberal
Were they
arts
like the
college,
general ed
so-
or something, like general
Yeah, exactly.
requirement?
It's core curriculum. I mean, I had
I
to
thought
take.
meteorology would be a general core curriculum sort of thing.
Well, it's what you call your or science credit or whatever.
Okay.
And so that sounded fun, and so I got that because it is like, you have those careers that you're like, had I not done what I'm doing now, I could easily see myself doing X or whatever. That's completely different. And yeah, storm chasing, that kind of thing.
No, I wasn't thinking storm chase. I was thinking you'd be like the Al Roker of.
I could do the Al Roker thing. Yeah, be a
So were you in
broadcast
school in
meteorologist.
Arkansas or was this in
Undergrad was at Mississippi State.
Mississippi? I don't know. They're all those southern
Yeah,
states.
it's
all.
It's in the red blob. But yeah.
So, okay, so you get weather there. That's good. So you
There tends to be weather
talk.
there, yeah.
There's like current events in the class. Like, okay, guys, do you do that? Like, in a meteorology class, do they? Some classes you talk about like what's happening in the real world. Kind of bring it there. Do you?
Oh yeah, definitely. And had I stuck with it, if that was my intended career, then in these sort of the upper level classes, then you become part of like Stormwatch, and you go out and you look for, your early warning people running around looking for tornadoes and stuff.
Like they really are doing. You're right. I mean, why?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Now it's a lot more sort of prevalent out in the plain states in Oklahoma and Kansas and places like that, simply because it's easier to observe tornadoes because there's so much flat land and you can see them from a lot further away, and
So
you don't have to
nothing.
get snuck up on like you do in the hills of Mississippi. But yeah,
interesting. That's fascinating.
yeah, I thought so.
Bob Iger started as a meteorologist.
Did he really? I did not know that.
I actually don't know if he was a real meteorologist, if he just did the weather.
Usually those
think-
guys have some form
I
of
don't think
meteorology
he had a
training.
meteorology. No, I don't think so.
Well, they got to know.
See, now I feel like I failed the
what they're
biography.
looking at.
Like now I have to go back
Well, yeah, there you go.
because
You
now
revisit.
I didn't remember that part of the
Bob.
chapter. But I'm sorry. For those of you who know the answer, forgive me.
Just yell it at your radio, and it'll.
That's right.
And
The radio.
Jason will,
Yell at your
will
radio
feel properly chastened.
that you don't know how to operate because you
Jason,
haven't
Jason.
touched it. Have you turned the radio? Have you turned an actual radio on in the past year?
Only by accident, I think. I accidentally hit the FM button when I was trying to do the aux button or something.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's like when I'm renting a car and
It's always on
I get in
static.
and it's on like, so it's always. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's always on a certain channel depending on where you are geographically. It'll be on a different channel, and it's not the one you want. And
oh no,
so,
never.
And then I just have to spend 5 minutes figuring out like, okay, how do I stop this? Just how do I stop
Because
this?
it gets relentless and it's an assault, and you're like,
I don't.
pushing buttons and trying to get it to quit.
Right, it's on my phone to talk to the car. Just get me.
I'm
Stop.
only interested in my phone and what my phone has to entertain me with.
Right. Well, I mean, it's because I know what. I mean, here I am, and I'll listen to NPR One, for example, the app on my phone. I could listen to local NPR.
Yeah, I suppose if you can find it.
Well, that's the thing, right? So
Yeah,
I'd rather
exactly.
just put my phone, connect my phone, and then launch the app, and I'm good.
Yeah,
And then I get to pretend like I'm in Florida, listening to Florida local NPR.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Florida NPR.
Have you ever done that?
FPR.
Have you ever like either used one of those apps that plays a radio station from a specific geographic area, or like tricked the local app, like an NPR app, for example, into thinking you're somewhere else? not you're tricking it. You're just saying like, give me the news for this particular area
Right.
because
No,
maybe
I
it's
don't
somewhere
think
you used to live or you want to live or no, you never done that.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Hmm.
You need to
If it
get
was-
out.
Apparently,
You
yeah.
need to- no, maybe I need to get out.
I need to start tricking my radio apps.
There
I'm
is-
missing out over here.
You are missing out. You are missing out. There's a cool app I was introduced to called it's called That Thing. I don't know what it's like.
That thing?
Well, okay. I put these apps on my phone, and I don't know where they go.
Oh,
I found
yeah.
it.
I'll
They
lose
just
them
go.
too.
I used to keep them really organized. Still have these folders.
Yeah, I got like too many folders.
But once Apple added the feature to be able to just search for the app,
Oh, yeah, the app library
No.
or whatever they're calling it.
well, you just the one where you scroll down, you hit click, and the
Yeah.
search window thing comes up, and you just beep, 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 and then it comes up like the Siri suggestions come up, and then you
Right.
anyway. There's this app called Radio.
I'm sorry.
Radio.
A lot of O's or what?
Yeah, it's radio.
Radio.
And
That's, I guess,
radio.
the 2, 3, 4, and 5 O
Yeah.
was already taken. So,
Radio.
put another O on there, I guess.
And so it's like, it calls itself like the musical time machine. So
Oh, interesting.
you can, let's see, I'm in basic mode. You can, shut up. You can select a country. So I'm going to select Greenland. I don't know why.
Oh, Greenland. Okay. Oh.
It's the biggest thing. It's a Mercator map. A
It is
Mercator
a very
map.
big,
You know, it's like,
big-
it's like
especially on Mercator, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's. And then you can select a
It's enormous.
particular year. I'm going to go to 1930. Oh, it's not finding anything. I don't have a lot of choices for Greenland. Maybe I should have chosen a different. Let's choose.
Do Iceland.
Oh yeah.
Radio Reykjavik.
Can I? Oh, that's not selectable.
Ooh. They're very,
Maybe it's because I'm. Oh yes, it
very
is.
private about the
Iceland,
radio.
1933. Oh
Wait, 1933.
yes.
So radio from Iceland from 1933.
That's not gonna there. From 1933.
Wow.
That changed my color, didn't? And then if I hit play, what's it gonna give me?
Come on down to Crazy Fjord.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. Classic Icelandic radio right there.
So if I go, let's see, if I go to 1920, what's it give me? Okay, stop. Shut up.
It's going to be very similar to
1956.
that, I think.
I got 1956.
A little whimsical.
Right?
Oh.
Do you want to hear more?
Sjömien. Well, it's. I guess that's what Icelandic.
Well, it's not necessarily Icelandic as much as it's what was playing on the radio. In
they
that,
may have imported this from
oh yeah, totally could be
France. Or something. I
Like
mean, I was trying to figure out what language that was, but
Right, this is 1970. All Iceland. Oh well, that's just terrible.
they seemed like they were a little behind on the on popular music in the 70s.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
That seems
Okay,
like
I can't make it
that might
stop, make
be
it stop.
Icelandic public
Make it
access radio.
Stop. Okay, I just have.
It's like Bjob from down the street, and he's gone in.
Bjob. Bjorn. No, that's
Which
Bjorn.
means bear.
Anyway, it's a cool little app to play around with because you can go to different countries and pick different time periods, and then
That's pretty interesting. Like how extensive? I mean, you were able to choose both Greenland and Iceland.
not at the same time.
No, that becomes
You have to have your legs have to spread really wide.
real wide. real wide, wider than you might think. And one of them would no longer be green or ice. But the like, how extensive are your choices of country there? I mean, since it goes back to the 20s, can you choose like the Ottoman Empire or something like that? I mean, Austria-Hungary.
I see. Do you get the political maps for the different time periods? Is that what you're asking? Like,
yeah, because I mean, there are countries that aren't
that's
around
a good question.
anymore.
That's a really good question.
I mean, I don't know if the Ottoman Empire was around in the 20s.
Let's go to 1910. Why is it still playing? Stop! Please stop! I just want
a Twilight Zone thing, and now if you stop that, like somebody will die or something.
Why would you say that?
Because.
What?
Because there's something about old-timey radio that is weird, creepy, Twilight Zone-y. Anytime I hear it anywhere, like if you go into a like a lot of times around here with like Disney, when they'll have an area and they're trying to make it look authentically from the past, and you hear, and they have like simulated old-timey radio, there's just this Twilight Zone creepiness to that really just kind of bothers me, no matter what is on the radio. If it's got that, you know, and like, I start getting a little freaked out.
I can't seem to pick. Got Bulgaria.
There you go, Bulgaria.
Some countries are definitely like shaded out. Romania,
Bulgarian radio. That would be
Hungary
a cool,
from 1912.
like, new wave band.
We got Austria from 1915.
Austria from 1915, Hatton and Place. I think they're just playing really old music, and they're just telling you.
No,
this is
even
exactly
says it on there what
Austria,
it is.
Oh, well, it says on there what it is. Well, that's a relief.
You can see it's Austrian.
I can see that. That's true.
How do I make it?
This is like considering
there's
the number
a weird
of
button. There's a button that says weird.
There's a button that says weird, and you have not pressed it yet.
I just noticed it. Hold on.
How can you not press a button immediately that says
I pressed weird. What did it get? Oh.
It's not excessively weird.
Almost sounds like Steamboat Willie.
It does kind of.
Right? I'm totally using this.
It's fantastic.
Right.
Is that weird?
I don't want
That's
to
awesome.
stop listening to it. Is that? How can you not love this?
Speaking of Steamboat Willie, looking back at those cartoons, those are funny. Those are really funny.
Have you watched some of them like on Disney Plus or?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I watched even before Disney Plus. I was kind of going through some of the old cartoons a while back, and like number one, everything gets kicked in the ass. That's like a rule on Disney cartoons from back in the day. But yeah, Steamboat Willie's some funny stuff. I mean, I feel bad for the duck that ends up getting like choked into singing Turkey in the Straw, but
is that like an early precursor to Donald?
It was a pretty not duckpomorphic duck. It was a regular old duck.
Regular old duck.
Well, no, it was regular old ducks, but maybe, maybe Walt was like, clearly the duck is the next step here. So.
On my walk today, I noticed there was a crow that was hooping and hollering, because that's what they do, over something. I couldn't figure out what it was. He was on the ground near this area of kind of exposed earth near a pond, and he was just like calling his buddies, like, "Hey guys, good stuff here, good stuff here. Hey guys, good stuff here. I'm all alone. I need some help. It's good stuff here." And then he would like eat something in the dirt, and then he'd start doing it again. And this duck, there were some ducks in the water, and this one duck came up out of the water, like I'm doing my duck thing, right?
Yeah,
And like he like, and I'm walking, and this is all happening, and I wanted to stop and just watch it, like
these interactions.
like I'm watching a cartoon. Like, yeah, is he gonna walk up? Now what's gonna happen? Is he gonna come up and then and be like, hey, what'd you find? Or is he going to say, hey, get the heck out of here? You're making so much noise. Like,
will you shut up?
you're like destroying my zen, man. Come on. Or is he going, like, is the crow going to lash out? Is he going to defend his area, his turf, literal turf?
I don't know.
And what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. I kept walking.
No.
Well, because, I mean, it's right by an elementary school, like across the street. And so, like, to have this dude, like an unshaven, middle-aged dude, sweating, standing there,
staring at the duck,
and a crow across, like, they're gonna, and then there's the policeman who's parked out front, you know, for purposes of like this, where they want to make sure some weirdo isn't just standing around talking to a duck.
Hey, you know, ducks.
Yeah.
Ducks gotta talk too.
That's what I was thinking. I actually thought about stopping and watching this, and then I thought, no, I should keep moving.
Well,
I should probably keep
curious
going.
now if the
Me
duck
too.
ever was able to communicate what he found to the rest of the ducks.
This is when I like to think of. I wish the real world was a little more like a video game, because in the video game version of this, what I would have done is pulled out like a little, like it would be like a puck. But it would be like a camera of some sort, and I would just throw the puck over there, and then it would record the events.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then I could gather that later.
Come back and yeah, that'd be cool. They should make those little, pucks like that. You just kind of throw and they'll record the ducks or whatever. A duck puck.
A duck. Brilliant.
We got it.
How has no one ever
Guys, this is way better than cup phone. Duck puck.
But it's a camera. But it doesn't matter. Does it float? No.
Does it have to be used with ducks? No. But you'll wanna.
Trust me.
It's perfect for ducks.
Oh,
you can do a swan.
2 other things happen.
Uh-oh.
That guy,
sidewalk guy,
he was walking on the other side of the sidewalk.
Like on the correct side of the sidewalk?
Well, at first he was in the middle.
Okay, well.
And then he did kind of end up on the other side, because, I mean, I didn't know what to do at that point. I'm like...
Yeah, because now there's half a lane on either side of him, and you can't take half a lane.
I feel like he's messing with me at this point.
I think he listens to the show.
Oh, God. There's not a chance.
So he does a thing, and then he goes and listens to the show to see how it affected you.
Oh my goodness! It's like this little experiment. You mean? He's like, He's like, great. That's not going to make me paranoid at all.
Almost got him. Him crazy.
And then I also saw the dude with the lawn, the patch of lawn, which actually isn't looking so bad right now. It's not. But 2 things happened over the past week. One, hey, it looks pretty good right now. But I guess it's his daughter. She seemed young. She had a dog that she was trying to get to relieve itself on this very patch.
The patch that he's been fighting with.
I'm thinking
this guy's named Sisyphus.
What's wrong with you? Like, do you not know the extent
Have
to
you not
which...
seen the saga? The struggle?
Seriously? Is this, like, I'm sure he's told the tale. Told the tale. Anyway.
I'm sure he's come in with plenty of wonderful language about the lawn.
Like a bard, like
times.
a great bard singing this, right? Like, and a bard's tale, right? That's what they would do.
Yeah, more or less.
and then a couple days later, I see him. This might have been yesterday. I think it was just yesterday. I don't understand people like this, because we have engaged before. We've said hi to one another.
Yeah.
he's even joked a couple times about it. Like it's like, you know, because you see these people and whatever. Yeah. So this week, a couple days ago, he is out there, and he was looked like some kind of like pesticide thing together or weed killer or something. He had these rubber boots on that went up to his knees, like he was going to go wading in the water or something, but like there's no water there. And
just a spray. Wow.
I guess he doesn't want to get on his feet, probably, right? And he has this contraption, and he's walking out of his garage behind his house, and we make eye contact, like I said, and I said to him audibly, "Good morning." Like, "Hey, good morning." I got nothing. I mean, I didn't get a head nod. I didn't get a smile. I got nothing.
He was in the zone.
He was in the garage. She wasn't in the zone. He was just like, he just walked out of the garage. Like, what? He looked at me. It's not even like
he looked right at you.
Yes.
And said nothing. So that's a decision right there.
I mean, what kind of jerk? Like, seriously, like, why are you messing with me like this? I feel like I'm in the Truman
I hope your
Show.
lawn dies.
You know what? I'm going to encourage your daughter.
Hey, maybe the dog would like peeing over there. There's not a lot of grass over there.
I'm gonna start bringing glasses of dog urine with me, and I'll write my name in it.
Nobody will think that's weird. Guy staring, talking to a duck, walking around with glasses of dog urine. Oh, that's just Jason.
Well, fortunately, this property occurs earlier in the walk than.
So you'll have empty glasses that smell vaguely of dog urine.
I'm leaving the glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to run those through the wash.
So why do I keep? Well, I could be nice about it too. Like every day, I could deposit, like, you know, a mason jar with like a candle. And I could like drop or like some sand. People do that. Like there's like
luminaries.
There's walkway. Yeah, those kinds of things. So over time, it could just build up to a nice little
pile.
I hadn't thought it through. Clearly.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it can use some refinement, but.
I mean, it's bad enough when like the veterinarian office, like they want you to bring in your like a feces sample.
Yeah.
Or a
pin in the feces sample, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
Well, not literally, but I mean, like.
They want you to bring in like this like little container of poop.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had two of these containers because we have two dogs. We've had two of these containers sitting on our kitchen counter for like 2 months now. They're empty. Don't freak out. It's like they're unused. But like we just haven't done it because I don't think either of us want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to collect a jar of poop of any variety? And it has to be
fresh.
It
has to be fresh. You can't just, and also you can't, like, you also have to pay attention. When you have two dogs, you have to pay attention because you can't just go out to the yard and.
Yeah, you don't know which one. Yeah.
Right. Not like they're going to fingerprint the poop.
Yeah, you can't dust for dog poop.
Great movie. Spinal Tap. The drummer, right? That's how the drummer died.
Yeah.
Choked on his own vomit. No, he choked on vomit, but it wasn't his own vomit.
We're not sure whose vomit it was.
Right. So, so that's just sitting there waiting, and also, and then there's the urine sample one too, which is even
that
awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I would pay lots of money not to have to do that one because that's when you have to like.
Yeah, you have to be in the middle of it.
Yeah,
you gotta like.
And the dog is gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" You know,
the dog.
No, that's never happened to him before.
I've only had to do this a couple of times, and they call it a free catch. Is what they call it, as opposed to. I don't know why that's funny, but. As opposed to a cystotomy where they like put the needle into
like something you do when you're skateboarding.
Yeah, it's a free catch, and you don't want to do this when you're
kickflip free catch.
There's a very different ending to that move. You get the cup under there, and I kid you not, I remember this one time, my Labrador looked like she like turned around and looked at me like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
Like, what
I would imagine so.
I mean, you're like, I'm not gonna stop you because you're you, but like,
And also, I've started, so
I'm
I
not
can't
stopping
just
midstream.
stop.
I'm not pinching it off. That's for sure. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean that's got to be like almost a betrayal. They're like, wow, because they kind of seem a little like, don't look at me,
They
when
do,
they're doing
right?
it
I thought that was just
normally.
me. Right. I feel bad. Like sometimes when I'm watching, and then she'll look back, look back, see, like, is he watching me? Is he
Right,
watching?
yeah.
And they look,
Yeah,
oh shit, he's and I avert my eyes, like,
Right.
I'm not looking. No.
I mean, they have to be out in public, but you don't have to be staring.
I'm not
at them.
looking.
Give
I'm
them a
not
little bit.
looking.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, just making sure.
And now you're running at them with a jar.
I know, like, hi, come here. Like, what?
Hey,
I can't live like
I want to
this.
save some of that.
And
dog's like,
and
what?
female dogs get real low too.
Yeah.
So you need some clearance.
Yeah, and like with the St. Augustine and whatnot around here, there's not a lot of ground clearance.
Right. You got to like get way, and yes, it's.
And you have to almost kind of predict where they're going to be because you can't like quickly
Well,
slide
you're
it.
following them around. They're following them around, and they're like, "Why are you following me around? Like, why?
Yeah,
you,
it's like,
why
I don't
you
know, are
following
we
me around?"
playing?
Like, so you
What
have
is
to kind of
this?
like
We've
act
never played like this before.
I'm not really. Look,
You
you
don't
do
have
your
a ball.
thing. I'm not really paying attention. And then as soon as they go down, you're like, "Oh."
And then they freak out.
Well, then they're like,
Because
"What are you
rightly
doing?
so."
What are you doing? Cold hands. Cold
No
hands.
good. Yeah, that's no
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Dog stuff.
Dog
I
stuff.
still would do that.
Just dog things.
I would do that every day if it meant I didn't have to do that to a cat
Ooh.
at once. Like, I would choose to, if you said, okay, every day of your life, you're going to have to take one of these free catch samples from a dog, or one time you have to do it, get it from a cat.
Cat. Oh.
Nope. Dog every day, rest of my life. No problem.
Now, is this because of the sort of chemical composition of cat urine, or
there's
is
that.
it you don't want
They're
to hang
gonna-
out by the litter box? And
There's that. There's the, like, you don't know how, like, if they react, they're going to react poorly to it. And
yeah, that's true.
like, and
Yeah, if dogs kind of feel like don't look at me, cats are like,
that will kill you.
Yeah.
I will look at me in the eye. I will kill you in your sleep.
I have sharp
And then
claws, I have sharp fangs.
I will pee on your pillow every day.
They're vindictive,
for the
aren't they?
rest of
Yeah.
my life, for the rest of your life, because I'm going to kill you. That's a cat.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But that's yeah.
I
that would
mean,
be
cats are great
trepidatious.
for other people.
Right? Yeah.
Nothing against cats, as long as
Kind
they
of like
live
your
with other
nephew,
people.
you can enjoy them for a little while, and then they're not your problem anymore when you leave.
You see, I have children though, so like, I've been
Yeah,
to
but,
the
like,
puppet show. I
You know, if you wanted to go and do and sort of relive some baby moments or toddler moments or whatever, you can, and then you leave.
I remember this time when Michelle and I were visiting friends of ours, and they have several children, and they just had a baby, and I think they have. Oh, I think they went. And it's bad that I've lost count. Oh, is that your fire alarm? Your smoke alarm?
is.
You want to go see what's happening?
No,
I think you should probably go see what's happening.
I think cooking has gone wrong upstairs.
You smell it? You smell it?
Yeah, I do.
Does it smell like something's actually burning, or just food's
No,
burning?
it smells like cooking gone wrong.
Well, this is exciting.
Isn't it?
I don't want to
The,
cause your demise though. Like,
No. See, it went away.
But
Unless
that
the
happened-
fire,
that happened to
unless
me
the
or-
fire detector, the smoke detector, burned up, and then what do?
did I ever tell you about my Aruba experience?
No.
We
I
were
don't
in
think.
Aruba. Michelle and I were in Aruba. I'll come back to the kids in a second. We were in Aruba,
Uh-huh.
and we had gotten home. We had gotten back to the condo building thing late, hotel place,
Mm-hmm.
and we were at the Soprano Bar. That was like this piano bar. Lovely place, fantastic place. It was where I was introduced to Patron XO, which is delicious.
Oh, yes, it is.
But we get back and, it's well after midnight, and we're getting ready to go to bed. And I remember turning the faucet on to brush my teeth, and the water pressure was low, which was weird. Anyway, so then we're on Aruba. What do you expect? So then I go, getting ready to go to bed. I hit the switch for the light, and as soon as I hit the switch, the smoke detector, fire alarm, whatever, starts going off. I mean, the
right
moment
when you
I hit the switch, I was like, "What did I do? Did I short something out?"
Switch.
It's like, did I short? I don't know what happened. Maybe I shorted something out, and then I turned the light on. Didn't stop. I turned the light off. I'm like, great. Now we're gonna have to like get our stuff together. And as soon as I started thinking like, we got to get our stuff together and it stops. Like, I don't know what to make of that. But so then I just shut the light off, get in bed. 3-4 minutes later, the alarm starts going off again. I'm like, come on, what is happening? So then we're just laying there. I'm just waiting. Like, let's see if it keeps going, right? Because it just went off before. And sure enough, it goes off again. Turns off. Like, okay, this is ridiculous, right? Like 3 or 4 minutes later, somebody comes down the hallway banging on doors. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Fire, get out. Like, fire, get out. Like, banging on doors. I'm like, oh, snap. This might be real. So, get up, grab my stuff, put my clothes on real quick, my shorts and shirt, whatever. We are in a foreign country, so I wasn't leaving everything. I did leave. I just basically opened the safe, which I had unlocked at night on purpose. Grabbed like whatever medicines had been brought and my passport and money. Threw it in my bag, my
bug out bag.
Yeah, and then just and left. I was like, we have money, we have passport, we're good, right? Fine. Go outside. On our way outside, we were on like the 5th or 6th floor or something. We get down to like the 4th floor on the stairwell going down, and there's water now pouring down the stairs, like from the sprinkler system that had activated on that floor, like 2 floors below us. Yeah.
And that ain't like good water in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it ain't. I mean, I wasn't sitting there testing it out. Like, hey, is this potable?
No, that's gonna be some smelly.
So we get out. Long story short, fire department shows up. There was a fire. Something like near the elevators had caught on, like in the front of the building. The elevators weren't affected, but it was like in that area, on that floor. Anyway, go back to bed, and everything's fine except for those people on that floor who had be relocated somewhere. And I remember thinking to myself, I kind of feel bad about those people who they don't have a room to go back to now at 3 a.m, right? Or whatever time it was.
That must suck. And all their stuff's wet, so.
And then I was like, okay.
Somebody will handle it.
There was this moment where I thought to myself, should we invite them to maybe invite somebody to come stay in our room or stay? Nope.
Nah.
Let the hotel take
care. These guys aren't going to understand about the people.
No. How to explain that?
I mean, you can't.
So we're at our friend's house who have multiple kids, and maybe 5.
We're quite sure.
Well, once you get
very
to 4,
active kids.
it's like but they had this baby, which I think may have been number 5, and we were visiting and holding the baby, yeah. and Michelle's holding the baby, right? And then she she hands back and she looks over at me, and she says, we kind of, I don't even remember who said it first, but basically it was like, yeah, I'm good. Like
that was all.
Like, that's it. Like, don't need any more.
We're at the right.
And it was like this one
level.
moment in all of the years Michelle and I've been together. It's like this one, this one moment in our life where it felt like we were closer and more connected than any other time. Like it was like
synchronized.
We were like literally thinking the same thing and feeling the same thing, and this like this sense of like, yes, we made the right decision. Like, I'm good. Like, all in this one moment. It was great. It was like this. No, I'm good. Yeah. Don't miss it. Nope.
And imagine if you had to chase around your baby trying to get a urine sample.
Yeah, I never had to do that. I mean, boys kind of give it freely. Like,
it's true.
I mean,
you can't get them to stop.
It's like a fountain. I remember learning the technique. Like, okay, I would get these. I had these cloth diapers. We didn't use cloth diapers. I'm not nuts. We had these. We used regular diapers, and then and I was kind of like, I felt like. I mean, I don't know how I would do now. I'm sure I'd be rusty, but I felt like I was kind of like in a NASCAR pit.
Oh, pit crew action.
I mean, I was pretty good. I mean, I could do stuff with one hand. Oh,
nice.
I mean, and you're talking about stuff that's like you're like taping stuff down or Velcroing stuff down. I always like the Velcro. Velcro is nice, but we had the sticky tape kind too, and. Because you've got to, you got them on the changing table, and you have to get the clothes off. You don't want to get the clothes messy because you don't want to have to change them all together.
You want to reuse the clothes.
If you're out and about, you may not have many clothes to change them into. And although you do have like the nuclear football that you carry around everywhere, that has like all the nuclear launch codes in it.
Yeah.
Plus all the stuff you need to survive Armageddon. They should, like, if we ever end up in a situation where, we have to evacuate for whatever reason, tsunami, alien invasion, I've got this bag. The baby's good for, like, the next 6 years.
Right, yeah.
Right. Everybody else is screwed, but the baby's great. So you get them up on the changing table or makeshift thing or whatever, and then... You got to get the pants down, but not all fall together because you're never getting them back on with the wiggly feet, right? Yeah. And then you have to undo the diaper. Now you wouldn't think they have to go anymore, because they've already gone.
Yep.
But there's something about. I don't know if I can say the word. Can I say the word like? The anatomically correct word, like there's something about penises hitting the fresh air of a room.
Make them wish to express themselves.
It is like a puppy in a meadow, like like frolic. It's time to frolic, right?
It's time to release.
And they have this look on their face of pure joy. They're like. It's so freeing. Like the baby's like looking at you like, this is the best. Like, hello, Dad. Like, what are we doing? And you have to
look out coming at you.
You have to take that front of the diaper, pull it down, right? You have to get sort of the whole flap action down. And what I would do is I'd take the cloth diaper that I would have. That's purely a defense mechanism. And I would take that in one move. This is like Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is what I think Harrison Ford probably practiced with a baby to do this whole, like, maybe he should have actually. The
bag of sand,
wall, right. The boulder wouldn't come tumbling at him if he had practiced this properly with a child. You have to, you kind of, in one motion, you have to pull that, sort of tuck the diaper down, kind of pivot it down, right? Take the cloth diaper and cover.
Yeah.
It's open cover, right? And you have to do all of these things while preventing the baby from wiggling its way off of the changing table. Right? So it's somehow you end up with like 3 hands and all this, and I don't understand how that works, but it does. It's like special magic.
What's a certain type of kung fu, I would imagine.
I think it is like Matrix style kind of stuff. Yeah. So, It's like when I think it is like that. It's like when
baby style.
You like have the baby and I think some people just have this. It's like being Neo, and after the first time I did this, I walk out and I say, I know Kung Fu. Right? It's like, I know Kung Fu.
And then Lawrence Fishburne says, show me.
I was like, I will show you. Yes. And that's this great scene. And so then you have to you do all your thing, and you're still doing everything with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So and you've got to set something aside. You've got to set the mess aside. Right? We'll deal with that later. And then you have to clean, right? And you have to, so you're pinching, you're like holding the feet up in the air, grab them, you get both their ankles in your hand, you rock them up, and you're like cleaning. You do the cleaning thing, right? That goes back to the diaper. And then you put them down, and then you're doing all the stuff, and you got to get the other diaper out. All these things. You have to do all these things while the baby's like
right?
Flailing, but not in a bad way, like in a happy, joyous, like
they love
this is
that you're being
this is great,
stressed out.
This is great. Like, no, I'm like, my legs are free. Like, I've only had boys, so like they're like penis happy. They're like right.
There's happy,
great.
And then there's penis happy.
So I mean, that should be our first accidentally derivative T-shirt.
Oh. What does the donut look like on that one?
And everybody would... Oh, I know exactly what a donut would look like. But we can't do that.
But it's mosaic to you can't.
And it would never, like, no one would ever believe how innocent it was. Like, you don't understand. It's like all about... Anyway.
That's about a baby. Come on.
But I think getting a sample...
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying would not be that difficult because they would just freely give. Like,
yeah, I think the timing, because most unpredictable, I think is what I've heard it described as. Because, like you said, sometimes when you're changing, they're like, "Oh, I wasn't done. By the way, here's some of this." Whack, and.
That's why you have to keep that
right, but then you gotta like, how do you? Because that's like an upward trajectory there, and capturing that in a jar or a cup or whatever this is, dish, would be challenging, I would think.
Have you ever been to Craters of the Moon National Monument?
Craters of the Moon National Monument. I don't think so. Where's that?
It's in Idaho. It's in southern Idaho.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. How do I describe this? It is basically it's like this area of like old lava flows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to find like what this hill is called.
Can't wait to see where this is going.
I mean, it looks like the moon. And there's this mountain. I mean, the stuff that's left over from these lava flows are it's almost like it's not sand and it's not gravel, but it's kind of like gravelly. It's like gravelly pumice. So
gravelly pumice.
Gravelly pumice. Isn't that what they call pumice is like the stuff that's pumice is
sort of a porous rock.
Yeah, like volcanic, like right. And they have these. So they have this hill. I mean, the stuff's everywhere, and it's kind of sharp, actually. Like and picking up like a pile of it's not cutting yourself, but if you like pinch it in your hand, like it's kind of sharpish,
And it's like granular. It's kind of like a really
it's like disintegrated pumice. If you took like a pumice rock and you like put it in like a pumice ninja thing, it would
a pumice ninja.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Right.
That was the least successful ninja clan in the old traditional Japan days. The pumice ninjas, nobody liked them.
They have all these pitted faces and
they're crunching around when they're walking. They're real loud. Like, oh, come on. Their swords are really
I can hear you coming a mile away. What are you doing?
You know, the regular ninja's like, get away, dude.
You're no
Come
ninja,
on.
man. You're killing my ninja
Have
vibe.
some self-respect, man.
So there's this one spot where there's this huge hill. I mean, it's this massive hill, and there's people up there, and you know you want to go up there because it's a good scene. So we go to climb this hill. I mean, this hill. I mean, it's an enormous hill. It makes, you know, that hill. What's that hill in the Wright Brothers, or the Wright Brothers Monument is Kitty Hawk. It's probably called Kitty Hawk. It's like the big hill.
Could be.
Anyway,
Kitty Hawk Hill.
It's like bigger than that, and you go up, and it's you know it's a big hill, but you don't really appreciate it until you start climbing the hill.
Oh yeah.
So I'm climbing the hill with the kids, and we get about halfway, we realize it's getting windy, like super windy. Now it's a little breezy at the ground level, but now it's like super windy. It was getting windier and windier, and at one point, Alex, because Michelle didn't decide, she was like, I'm not doing this. And then Alex, I think he may have gone up all the way and then decided not to go back. He went back. He went back to the car. But Henry and I were continued to like go. And Henry went up, like, you know, this is like classic Henry. He like runs up ahead. He's like running ahead, right? He gets up to the top of this. He gets up. I can't see him anymore. I get up, and he is with this group of people who are helping to keep him from blowing off the hill.
Really?
That's how strong the winds were so strong that he had to like hold on to a boulder, which was probably a large piece of hummus would be rough too.
Volcanic hummus.
Oh, that's a brand interesting.
Is that granitic or basaltic hummus? Is this
It's
or
balsamic.
pahoy?
It's balsamic. And so I get up there and I go,
joke.
you know, I was like, okay. And he says to me, I have to pee. I'm like, dude, like,
you're holding on to a boulder of hummus for your life.
what?
This is not the time to pee, man.
What do you like? What do you want to like? But there's nowhere down there either. There's nowhere, like, we're in the middle of this national parkish type thing. So there was this one like tree that somehow managed to survive, and it was kind of this like, it looked like this kind of like Okinawa style, like gnarly, you know, like a bonsai-ish kind of thing, right? But obviously,
was it like big size, I suppose, or was it actually a bonsai kind of?
No, it was like big. It was like big bonsai. It was like big bonsai. Yeah, and but you know, in this wind-swept environment, so it was like, you know, kind of all like gnarled and curled, and like, but like, yeah, it was kind of cool. I got some pictures and video of this I'll have to share. Fantastic. So let's go to the tree, because that's what you do in the wild.
you gotta pee in the tree.
You go to the tree, right? And
there's the one tree, and so you gotta.
Yeah, we kill it, right? It's like nothing's peed on it for centuries.
And here's two guys.
And anyway, so
and he's been drinking some like Monster energy drink.
But here's the thing: he can't handle the situation.
Hello.
Because he can't stand up without blowing over. He has to be holding on to something. He can't hold on to the tree and do that. I mean, I could do it. You could do it. But like he was getting ready to go into third grade at this point. Like he can't.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of what the age was.
Yeah, he was at this point. I mean, he's 15 now, but at the time he was whatever age you are going into ninth grade. I mean, third grade. He was probably like 9 years old or 8 years old or something. I don't know. 7 years old. I don't know how old. So I'm like, okay, I will hold you still. You do your thing, right? So you have both hands to use. I will. You just don't get it on yourself. Just don't get it right. Don't do that.
Let's learn about wind direction.
So, well, we were standing in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, facing the tree. So he starts doing the thing.
Yeah.
Leaving his sample. And the wind shifts.
Oh boy, I saw that one coming.
I did not.
You felt it though.
And the stream, I'll never forget this image. The stream somehow comes up. Like over his head. like a magic act. Like right into my face.
Into your face. Oh Lord.
Into my face.
You got no cloth diaper for that one.
And he thinks it's the funniest thing that's ever
Of
happened.
course he does.
And I said, we will never speak of this. And to this
Until
day,
a decade later, and
to this day, he tells the story every possible chance he gets.
course
Like he can't keep it. He can't keep that story to himself. Anyone he comes into contact with, he's like, "Oh, have I told you about the time I peed in my dad's face?" No.
Hey,
let me
you've
tell you
got
about
people's attention when you start out like that.
Yeah, it's
No, you didn't. Have a seat.
Yeah.
I suddenly have nothing left to do today.
yeah. So that happened, and I don't have pictures of that scene,
the
but I
volcanic
do.
thing is pretty cool.
It was, yeah. It's an amazing place. I mean,
Aside from
the chances
the
that
facial
you will
urination.
just, yes, the chances that you will just happen upon it are slim to none. I mean, we did just sort of happen
Well, it
upon
is
it.
in Idaho.
We didn't plan to be there. But we were. This is when we were heading to California, and we just it was on the road that we were on, and we went through it or stopped by it, and there it was. And here is, I have. Oh. I'm going to have to share these.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have before and after photo. Like I have this picture of him. I don't know if this
You
is
must
after.
share these now.
I think. Yeah. I think I'll have to share this. And hopefully it will inspire people to go visit this place. It's in Arco, Idaho.
Arco.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I mean, it's desolate, but it's like, I mean, geologically, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, because that whole area, I mean, the volcanic, the activity that's happening below you in that part of the country is like, it's a little scary.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Actually, like Yellowstone could just boom, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I've been to the Badlands.
Oh, Badlands are nice. That's in
really cool.
That's in North Dakota, South Dakota.
South Dakota. I want to say.
Yeah, South Dakota. Have you ever been to Devil's Monument? Devil's Tower, rather. Devil's Tower.
Oh no.
Devil's Tower.
Uluru,
in
I
Wyoming.
is the native word for it.
What do they
But
call it?
yeah,
How would you know that you've not been there and you know the Native American word for it?
Uluru. No, Uluru is Ayers Rock. I don't remember the one for Devil's Tower, but I've been fascinated about that thing ever since Close Encounters.
Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right.
I've always wanted to check it out.
It's just one of those places where, like, we were on, again, the same trip because we were moving to California, and we took the scenic route, and we had gone from we'd gone to Mount Rushmore, and there's, on your way towards Yellowstone, you can kind of go off the beaten path a little bit. Let's see where it is. And you have to drive. You have to be willing to get off the interstate for a bit. So we were on I-90. I think it's 90. Yeah. And then you have to go kind of north of that, and it's probably an hour north and an hour. It's like 2 hours out of your way, like off.
Right. Yeah.
Right. but it's amazing.
Totally worth it.
It's like one of those places where it's like seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You see it and you realize, like, I know people always say, but you have to see it to really appreciate it.
Right. You've seen pictures, but when
Right.
you get there,
I would say the Devil's Tower even beats that.
really,
When you see it in person,
Mm-hmm.
it is like it's stunning. It's just surreal. You see this thing that you think like this can't possibly be real.
right? Exactly. Everything says this shouldn't be here. This is completely out of place.
And there it is, and it's right there. It's like the Grand Tetons, like rolling up on the Grand Tetons. They're just like, boom.
Yeah.
They're like right there.
Whoa.
There's no foothills or anything. It's just boom, giant mountain. It's kind of like that. It's just this spectacular image. Anyway, it's worth if you
I always
are
had
heading
wonder
west,
about
that's
like
worth
the
seeing.
first, well, not even the first. There's probably just decades of people that stumbled onto it, not knowing it was there in like olden days or whatever. What must they have thought about this thing? Because I mean, I'm sure there's a few hundred years of
I would say thousands.
people running
probably.
around
Right,
out
like-
there, and then running into that and going, what?
But you have to wonder, like, how. I mean, as big as the country is, right? I mean, this is big as that. It wasn't a country at that point. It was just expanse.
It was country,
like,
but it wasn't a country. Yeah.
Like, how much time has to go by before you, by chance, happen upon that slither?
Yeah, because it is just kind of a point on the ground, really. But
Like, that's crazy.
somebody had to have seen it though and freaked out.
Oh well, yeah, and it did have religious. I mean, it became a holy site, and
It would have to. I mean, when you see that thing, you would have to think that something.
And I think that there's a story, like there's a particular tribe or group of tribes that once a year are allowed to scale it. And then there's ceremonies that they do, like at the top, and otherwise it's not something that they allow. The federal government doesn't allow people to like climb it as a rule. But it's a cool place. It's a cool place.
I bet. Like I said, I've always been fascinated by it when I'd see it, and just the shape of it. I don't know. It's just the whole thing is just mesmerizing. And it didn't help that I was introduced to the existence of this thing by a movie where people are mesmerized by this.
And making
thing.
mashed potato towers and stuff.
Going to build a mountain in your living room. It was. I think it's probably a long shot, but there was a back in the 70s. Actually, I think it may have been 80. There was a videotape that you could find every now and then at a hip VHS rental store called Hardware Wars. And you remember this?
Oh yeah, like the little mixer thing was like the TIE Fighter or something.
It was a parody of Star Wars, and it was like Han Solo's ham salads.
And like
ship was an iron, and it was Fluke Starbucker, and the robots 4Q2 and RT Deco, and it was really funny. But the thing is that it was a bunch of them. It was the Star Wars one was first, and then there was closet cases of the nerd kind that came after it on that tape. And I loved Hardware Wars. It was fantastic. But Closet Cases of the Nerd Kind is
I did see that because something
downright hilarious.
Yeah, and there's some funny stuff they do with like the traffic light thing.
Yeah, and then when he looks over and he sees the mailboxes and they're like Muppets and they start doing a dance. And that's where you're going to build a mountain in your living room. And for some reason that has burned into my head. Like I saw that. I think I first saw that when I was 8 because I was nuts for anything Star Wars, right? Even things that are making fun of it.
Even the holiday special.
Even the holiday special. That's That's some good. I mean, it's almost cliche at this point to go woof about the about the holiday special, but yeah.
Have you
Woof.
seen the new holiday special?
The Lego one?
Lego? Yeah.
No, I haven't. Yeah, that is
Oh,
definitely something I'm is on my list.
It's going to frustrate the heck out of you.
Oh, is it? Why?
Oh yeah. I'm not going to tell you.
Because B. Arthur isn't in it. I think.
No, there's that.
That might cause
but
a
no,
problem.
because it's not actually. I was under the impression that it was basically a remake, like a Legos remake of the original Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah, I did see that there were like
not
Kylo Ren and stuff.
It's not.
Too,
it's like it's basically like a new version. It's like a holiday special,
like a reboot
for now, but Lego Star Wars. So, and
surely it references the holiday special. I mean, you
how
can't
much do you
call
want me
it
to
the
tell you?
Star Wars holiday special and it not have something to do with Life Day and all of that
They
stuff.
are on Kashyyyk already, and they are celebrating like they're celebrating Life Day.
Life Day,
Yeah.
Red robes and stuff.
But there's none of that actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not.
You need to watch it though, so
tell
we
you,
can
man,
talk about like what parts.
This is a war on Life Day. If we are no longer having red robes,
red robes.
They are trying. I bet Starbucks didn't even have a special cup for it.
You need to watch it, and then
I do.
And then we should talk about it because
the Lego stuff has been genuinely funny. Whoever's behind that team is really funny. Even some of these properties that I don't even know, I'm not familiar with what they're representing necessarily. Like Ninjago, I have no idea what that is, but the clips I've seen from Lego Ninjago has been pretty funny.
Have you done the Batman VR experience?
No,
the
I have not.
Lego Batman VR. It's basically like this short. It's like a short. It's like an animated short in a VR, like completely 360 VR environment.
I didn't even think about that. Wow, you could totally do some killer VR stuff with computer animation. It's
so funny. I mean, because the Lego Batman is hilarious.
Oh
to begin
man,
with.
Hilarious!
But he's he's like you're like interviewing to be his sidekick essentially, and he's gonna like it. You got to do it.
I got to do that
if you let's search it up on the Oculus, and so good.
And is it the guy? Job from.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, sounds like him.
Good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Batman. Yeah, it's so good. So you got homework. You got to watch Star Wars Holiday Special.
Star Wars Holiday Special. Lego
Holiday Special. You need to go experience the Lego Batman VR.
Lego Batman
thing,
VR.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to plan your trip to Creators of the Moon National Monument,
as well as Devil's Tower.
As well, yeah, exactly. We need to figure out where we can find Hardware Wars and
classics of their kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was what were the other ones? There was Bambi Meets Godzilla. Was that on there?
I don't think.
Which is a very short animated thing, but it was pretty funny. And it goes about as well as you might think.
For Godzilla.
And then Pork Lips Now, which.
They're like Apocalypse Now?
Exactly. It's a parody of Apocalypse Now. And I have to say, it's probably one of the trippier things I've ever seen. And it's by the same group did all three of these. I mean, the Bambi Meets Godzilla was somebody else. But Hardware Wars and Closet Cases of the Nerd Kind and Pork Lips Now all were done by the same sort of team. And, of course, it was like I don't know if it was UCLA or USC or somebody like that, but it was a California film class from the 70s.
Find out where those
I don't
guys
know
are
that
now,
it was
too.
this. I'm pretty sure it's not USC because it would have been like significant that it was the same place that George Lucas was. But and I don't think it was. But yeah.
That's cool.
Pork Lips Now.
I gotta find it. So
Apocalypse Now is already trippy. And now you got this weird parody of it that's like, I guess they go, well, we got to make it trippy because the thing we're parodying is trippy. And it's pretty trippy.
So we'll find it. We'll post it.
Post it. Yeah.
Over on the Facebook group.
Man, we got a lot of stuff to do. And you got to post your pictures.
I know.
Your before and after.
Yeah, you'll see me how pleased I am.
The
And you'll see how
ocean
pleased
spray.
Henry is. The ocean spray. Oh. Yeah, there weren't any cranberries involved. That's for
Sea
sure.
Breeze of Idaho.
Ay. Sea Breeze of Idaho.
It's another good Frank Zappa album.